Hi everyone, my name is Michelle and I'm Mama Loves You GB here on FlossTube, but also over on Instagram and Etsy as well. Welcome to the Sunday morning briefing. This is my third go at this. Don't normally have so many false starts, but today the teeth don't seem to be my own. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for being here. We have reached 12,000 subscribers. Yay! That is amazing. That is amazing. I never in a million years thought when I started this channel 2.5 years ago, after lockdown. Most people did things during lockdown. I decided to wait until I was busy again after lockdown. Did I ever think in my wildest dreams that we would get, I probably didn't even think I'd get to 1,000 subscribers, let alone 12,000, which is, it just blows my mind. It just blows my mind. And the support that I've had from this community, the friends that I've made in this community have been absolutely phenomenal, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So if anybody's out there and thinking about taking the plunge into doing FlossTube, do it. Just do it. Just put yourself out there. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. There is so much love and support from this community for you. Just do it. Just do it. I have been doing a little bit of stitching this week. I wouldn't say I've done a massive amount. Well, it doesn't feel like I've done a massive amount. I've had a lot on in the evening, so it's probably been sort of little bits and bots here. When I say I've had a lot on, it's no more than usual, it just seems to have been later in the evening by the time I've actually got sat down. So I have stitched on 3 things this week, which I will show you. This is my book of days, which I have filled out. I haven't done the colouring bit of it yet, because the colouring part of it will tell you that I've had a new start, which is normally pink, and a finish, which should be green, but I haven't managed to get the highlighters out for that one yet. So yeah, I've had a new start and a finish. I've got quite a bit of haul to show you today because a lot of my market purchases have come in. I wasn't going to buy a lot from market, and there were my famous last words. Those were my famous last words, but there we go. I just want to do a little update on the strike. We were due to have 2 days of strike going forward next week, but those have been suspended again because Welsh Government have come to the table and they've put a new offer on the table, and this time it's funded, which is probably what most teachers wanted. They wanted the pay rise that they were getting to be funded, not to be coming out of school budgets, which are already stretched to the max. So we've yet to see whether unions will accept it and go forward with it. But yeah, we've no strike this week, which is nice, So the first thing that I worked on this week was my Fairy Wool in the Wood February month mug. That's hard to say. I'm going to have to put a picture of what it should look up there because I've actually left it at school. It's in my little pouch at school, which I just left on my desk. I forgot to pick it up. Not that I did any of it at school, it was just in a bag that sort of ended up staying at school. The other thing that I've worked quite a lot on this week is my stitch along, which is in this London cab bag that I made myself a long time ago when I was making and selling bags. So this is by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and they graciously gifted me the kit, and it's the British Isles Adventure SAL. So obviously that doesn't tell you very much. You could just about work out the shape of the British Isles there. But we've had 2 months, excuse me, we've had 2 months now, and those 2 months I'm nearly caught up on. I didn't do a great job on the first month, but I've pulled my socks up a little bit, and I'm on pretty good terms with the second month. So the first month was this top part here, down to sort of Blackpool Tower there and the Isle of Man. There is a lobster to go out here as well. And then this month was the football in the middle, the bow and arrow, which I believe is Sheriff of Nottingham, Robin Hood, the windmill, which is getting out towards Norfolk, down, this is the roof of Buckingham Palace here. We have got the start of the bull ring in Birmingham, Welsh lady rugby. They won. Welsh won this week in 5 nations, 6 nations. It's about the first time they've won this tournament. We've got some daffodils and the Welsh Dragon. So, careful not to lose my needle. So this is stitched on a piece of 28 count fabric that is that kind of pale blue colour, but I just over dyed it a little bit, just sprayed it just to make it a little bit more interesting, and I didn't iron it. But I really enjoyed it this time. I really got sort of stuck into it. Not that I didn't enjoy it last month, I just didn't get into it as much as I have done. So I've nearly finished this month's. I'll either get back to it and finish this month before next month, or I'll just tidy away the last little bit of it when next month's comes out. It comes with all of the, or the kit comes with all of the threads pre-sorted. Oops, they were pre-sorted till I got my hands on them, but they're really easy to use in those in that format. And it did come with one of their brilliant needle minders, which I'm going to look for a place to put it, because I stitch in hand, I don't really use a needle minder. I just put my needle through the top of the selvage, but I will find somewhere for that. And the last thing that I stitched on, I started yesterday and I finished today, and it was my favourite of the market purchases. Well, I haven't stitched the rest, but it was my favourite, certainly from the sort of previews and the pre-orders. Excuse me. So, by far and away, the best collection for me this time at Nashville was Stacey Nash. She absolutely killed it, and I have got probably 5 or 6 of hers this time. My absolute favourite was the Velvet Parsnip needle book, which is this one here. Now I got these pre-orders from Patchwork Rabbit, and I'll tell you which ones I got where. I got most of mine from Patchwork Rabbit, and then I did get a few from other suppliers just to spread the money around a little bit. So that was my favourite one. And I ordered the threads from Arts and Designs, and I actually, oh dear, excuse me, I actually kitted up this one and another one because they had some of the similar colours. So they're all Weeks Dye Works colours. There is actually one errant one in there. Which one is it? Caper. I've put Caper in there as well because there's 2 greens, Lily Pad and Guacamole, and I found that the Lily Pad is supposed to be the darker of the 2, and actually next to one another I couldn't see the contrast, and I wanted a bit better of a contrast. So I've finished my stitching. This is a piece of Fox and Rabbit yellow clay, which was from the October fabric of the month. I don't know whether they've released it, but this is one that was a fabric of the month. The call for was 40 count Fox and Rabbit paper bark. This is probably slightly yellower, but I didn't have any 36 count paper bark. And there it is. Now, it's probably going to blow out a little bit. So this is my finish. I made a couple of little changes, as I said. So on 36 count, it's a little bit bigger than it would be on 40 count, but not a massive amount. I used all the called for colours except for, as I said, Caper to do this darker, because mine really just didn't show any contrast at all. And it calls for doing some French knots in the colour Schneckly. So when you're actually looking at the floss list, it doesn't include Schneckly for the sort of seed heads. Now I had something that would have done, but it would have involved doing French knots. And I didn't fancy French knots. So I had some little Mill Hill, the petite beads, because this is a 36 count, so they needed to be the smaller beads. And I happen to have the other thread that's called for, which is in the list, which is some Whisper thread. Now I had the Whisper thread from doing Santa's beards on various different things. Now, the whisper thread, it's not quite up there with Krynic and metallics in terms of being a royal pain in the backside to work with, but it's not far off. It is not far off. So the idea is that you stitch with it, and then you, either with your needle or your finger, or I use a toothbrush, you kind of fluff it back up a bit so that it is kind of nice and fluffy, so it makes great bunny tails and bunny bellies. So some people will do the bottom leg of the cross stitch in like a white DMC and just do the top leg in whisper. I chose this time to do 2 strands of whisper, but just use 10 stitch. So I effectively only did the top strands because I used 10 stitch. And then we really like these Euthymol toothbrushes. So we've got loads of them. And they're actually, compared to a normal toothbrush, they're quite a bit softer. So I keep one that doesn't get used for any toothiness. And then you just spend a little bit of time just using the edge of the brush there to flick up your whisper thread. And you just do it as much as you want to get the nice kind of fluffy appearance. So I can't wait to finish that into a little needle book. As I said, this was probably my favourite of the whole of Nashville, and as soon as it came into my very little hands, let's try and get a screenshot, as soon as it came into my very little hands, I wanted to stitch it. So there was that. And that is pretty much my stitching. I have got, just reach that over, I have got a freebie as always. I've got some giveaways, not my 12,000 subscriber giveaways. I'm still putting that together, just waiting for a couple of other bits to come in. And then the rest is haul. So let's start off with the freebie. The freebie is from Hands Across the Sea, and it's called Pretty Polly. And I'm going to just put it all the way over here, and then I'm going to put a picture of Nicola Parkman with the model of this. So it's a beautiful parrot, beautiful parrot. You get 2 parts to the chart. You either get it all on one page, which is the bit that I just showed you right in the background, or you get it across a couple of pages. If you're not familiar, when you download a chart, a PDF, one of the things that a lot of designers do at the moment is to do one page, a chart just on one page. And if you're not familiar, you might just print it off and you think, oh my god, how am I actually going to work from that? That is for people who work on things like GoodNotes or any of the markup programs, things like that, or who just view it on something like an iPad or a tablet, because it's designed not to have any page breaks in it, so when you sort of scroll around you're not having to deal with any page breaks. Those of us who, well, I say those of us, I do stitch from my phone, and I actually stitched most of the SAL from my phone. I didn't bother to print it out this time. Those of us who tend to work more from a paper pattern, you need to print out the slightly larger one, otherwise you'll be looking at it going, trying to read it, and it won't be a pleasant experience. And that's common for lots and lots of PDF charts these days. Right, my giveaway this week, as I said, this is not a the 12,000 subscriber, but this is from Ruthie from Crowsfeet Stitching. She has kindly sent us some more of her charts that she has just released. So she has released 3. So let me just get, I printed them, didn't sort of finagle them. So the first one, they're kind of all spring Eastery type charts, which is fabulous this time of year. So this one is an original one called Dancing with the Daffodils, 1804. And the quote there is, "And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils." And you get a colour chart and all of the information about the design and about the poem by William Wordsworth. What's it called? It is called that. I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud, by William Wordsworth, which is where the quote is from. I remember studying that at school. That and Samuel Taylor Coleridge. And it had something about an ostler in it. I can't remember it. I only remember the ostler. Okay, and she has also released Fanny Walton. Now, this is an original reproduction. So this is Fanny's original chart, and that is the original picture of what she stitched. And Ruthie has done it so that she stitched her copy. Are they both hers? Yes. She stitched it, and she said that you can change the wording away from Fanny Walton if you want to Happy Easter, because it is such an Eastery type chart. Lots of kind of lambs, birds, fruits, that sort of thing, and bright colours. So if you wanted to, you could stitch that into Happy Easter. And the other one I haven't got a cover photograph for, or have I? I lie, I have. This is Charles III. So this is for the impending coronation that is happening in early May in the UK for Charles III, and that is the design by Ruthie, an original design for a little pin pillow. Now this does come from, Ruthie's lucky enough to have a Bristol sampler, and she said it's based on some of the things that she's taken from that Bristol sampler, which will be forthcoming at some point. I'm not sure if she's going to release it exactly as it is or what she's going to do with it in the future, but we wait to see. But Ruthie's in charge. She knows what she's doing. It'll be great. So let's see if we can get some words going. So let's go. If you'd like to enter for this one, then the keyword is daffodil. D-A-F-F-O-D-I-L. Daffodil. This one, if you can go for king, if you put king down, if you'd like to enter for that one. Now, whilst I would dearly love to say that the keyword for this one is Fanny, I'm going to say the keyword for this one is Easter, because we get plagued with all sorts of people, and I just wonder what might happen if we actually had that as a keyword. I think we might get targeted by all sorts. For those of you who've been with the channel a long time, back in the sort of early days, usually the very first comments that would appear on my thread were from people advertising porn sites, and I pointed out several times that they're barking up the wrong tree. If they want us to go to their site, they need to have like a, you know, an overdyed thread sale, or, you know, picture this plus on half price. We're not interested in the rest of that. So Easter, daffodil, or king. Okay, just pop those in your comment. They don't have to be in any grand method, although I do like it when they are. It is quite interesting how your brains work. But yeah, just enter for those, and I will do the giveaway for those. I'm going to say next week, because I'd like to get them done before we do the 12,000 subscriber giveaway. So it's just going to be 1 week on those. I'm going to show a little bit of Stitchy Kindness. My friend Jenny messaged me about some trims, and lo and behold, in the post arrived some trims. So there's some grey chenille, some black chenille, some cream, some pink, some gorgeous green, and this, which I think is called an eyelash trim. An eyelash trim. You look pretty scary if you had eyelashes like that. Now, I will check with Jenny, but I think she said that she had bought these as yarns. I will check with her because we were having a couple of different conversations, and that's what I thought, that they'd come from as yarns. So if you are looking for chenille trim, don't discount the yarn balls that you can buy from Hobbycraft and all those sorts of places, because they make great trims as well. So look at that, they were all nicely in a bag. I've had them 2 minutes and they look like that. There we go. And then I had a lovely lady message me, and she said that she had some vintage buttons that she would like to send on to me. And that is the lovely card that she sent me, and it came in this, look at that, isn't that lovely? All embossed envelope, embossed card. And then she sent me this beautiful box of all sorts of, whoops, mother of pearl buttons. She sent these all the way from Australia, so I am so grateful to you. Thank you so much, that was so lovely. There's some fabulous ones in there. Look at that one. I do have, and I don't know if I've told you this, I've already charted another button bingo chart, and I'm thinking about doing another version but just for mother of pearl buttons. So there's like these little square ones, round ones, ones with patterns on them, ones which are sort of like the darker grey mother of pearl. There's some beautiful ones in there, so thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you to think of me and send those to me, and I will be definitely using those in a finish very soon. Okay, haul. I've got my charts, I've got some bits I got from eBay, I've got my paper gang box as well. So let me show you what I got. I picked up the blue work pairs. I have done the red work pairs. These are by Annie B's, a faux cart. Let me get them out. So I have done the red ones, and I did those on Desert Taipan by Fox and Rabbit. So I'm going to be looking through my stash of Fox and Rabbit to find something else to do those on. I shall be doing them on 36 count with a blue sulky thread. The called for is Persian Jade, DKS, Dinky Dyes. Dinky Dyes Silk was the original. But yeah, I shall be using sulking. I got those from Jeff P. Smith on eBay, which I know a lot of you... No, I didn't. Or did I? I can't remember now. I think I did. I think it came from Jeff P. Smith on eBay. I also picked up this year's Prairie Schooler. And also, this isn't a new release, but I've wanted to do it for a while. Heartstring Sampler do a whole series of these, and if you watch Evertote, Caroline, she's been doing a SAL with Roxy Floss Co. with Kerry for the C is for coffee one. So this is for the F is for friend one. And I might actually do this for my friend. Now there's a good chance she won't have got this far in the video, because she said to me normally she can only stick about the first 10 minutes. So there's a good chance she won't have got this far. And I also picked up this fabulous one, Birds of a Feather by Blackbird Designs, because it's been out of print for so long and everybody's coveted it, and now we can get it. And it is from an original old sampler. How amazing is that? Now, the rest of my Stacey Nash haul that I got from Patchwork Rabbit. I did also order Teresa Kogat's, is it called On Nature? That's not one that she's released through her Patreon, so I don't have that one, and I love it. But it didn't come in with this, so I think it must be, they must still be waiting on that one. So, I ordered Sarah's sewing bag. Let me take these out. And I did actually, this was the other one that I kitted up from Arts and Designs. So Sarah's sewing bag. It's got similar colours into the one that I've just finished. I got this one, it's called the Faded Garden Pin Keep Drum. And that's what it looks like. And that's it on the back. Now there is a little oval design in the background there. Is that a different one, or is that one from this set? No, it is one from this set as well. And in fact there's two little smalls in with that one as well. There is that little one that you can just make out in the background, and then there's an oval one as well. So there's 3 projects in that one. And I also got this one, which is the Big Blue House Pin Keep Drum. Let's take it out again. I don't know if there's anything else in this one as well. So that's it as it is. Anything else in this one? Stacey gives really good finishing instructions as well. Oh, there's a strawberry. And it does have a stitched, yeah, you can just see on this second picture. So that strawberry is in there as well. And a lot of it is this stitched band. I've got a feeling this is quite a large design. It looks kind of Christmas cake size. The Pin Keep Drum is 7 inches by 2 inches on 36 count. So not too bad, but it's still a reasonable cake. And I think that's why she's displayed it on a cake plate or similar in the background. And I also got this one. This is Birds of a Feather Needle Book, and it does actually have 4 sides to it, or you could make 2 needle books. So that's the stitched outer, and that is the stitched inner. Now, it has got quite similar colours to the one that I've just finished actually. So you've got the bird, yeah, you've got the bird, that one, all these little birds, these 2, plus you've got an alphabet as well, a beautiful alphabet. So you could personalise it if you want to. You could make about 5 needle books out of that, because you could just do that on the back and the front, that on the back and the front of another one, or you could do one of those in your initial or one of those in somebody else's initial. You could make so many things out of that. That's a great chart. And I also picked up Spring Quail by the Blue Flower, because I have got the, is it Winter Partridge? And I'm also working on the Magpie one. And they've got quite a lot of fabric. So I think I might actually do them all on the same fabric. So I think this one's got 3 charts in it as well, or the ability to do 3 charts. So you've got the quail, you've got this sort of biscornu here, and you've got this long pillow here, which says, I sing of books, of blossoms, birds and bowers, of April, May, of June and July flowers. I love the Blue Flower. She has got a real knack with the natural world, with animals and plants and things. Amazing. I'll leave my paper gang box till last, just in case that's not something that you're interested in. And I grabbed this from eBay. This is a Chessie and Me chart, which is called Alphabet Sampler. Now I'll take it out, but it is a photograph, so it may not help us at all. So it's a little square sampler with the alphabet going kind of around like a snail. And you also get the chart for the bit in the middle, which is a little girl, but obviously you could turn it into a fob if you want. I think the little girl might be over 1 in the middle. I need to check. But that was the chart. And then it came with a piece of 32 count R&R Abecedarian blend. I do like R&R fabric, and it's so hard to get in this country. And then it came with the required threads, which I thought were lovely. So you've got Lancaster Red, Weeks Dye Works. You've got Cherry Bark by the sampler thread, look at that one. Weeks Dye Works Molasses, which is a brown, and Cherry Wine. Look at those colours together, aren't they going to be fabulous on that sampler? On that fabric, aren't they going to be amazing? So, looking forward to doing that one. And then I bought a book. Now, I've seen this book lots of times. It's passed me by lots of times, but for some reason this was the only time that I've ever seen sort of like almost like a flick through of it. Somebody who had posted what it looks like inside, and it's a second-hand one, you can tell, but it only cost me like £3. It's the Miller's Samplers How to Compare and Value. Well, I'm not really interested in valuing them, but I am interested in looking at samplers, and it's got lots and lots of colour plates, which a lot of the books don't always have. Sometimes they have black and white plates, and basically it takes you through lots of different types of samplers. So it starts off by looking at English samplers, and splits up English samplers into their sort of eras. So 17th century, 18th century band samplers, needlepoint, and English house samplers. And then it basically goes through a lot of American samplers. It's mostly about American samplers, and it goes through the different states. Massachusetts, Connecticut, Maine, New Hampshire, that's Massachusetts again. So all of the big sort of groups of samplers, mostly American. Rhode Island. So I was really chuffed with that for like £4. So have a look on eBay or Goodreads or what's the other one called? World of Books. Really good. And then lastly, I'm going to show you my Paper Gang box, which I think earlier I might have called my paper bark box, but I think it's, I've just got Fox and Rabbit on the brain. It's one of their linens. I've been like this all week. I have been like this all week. So we're going to have a look through Paper Gang box. I do have a link to Paper Gang down below if you want to get yourself one of these boxes. There is a link to £4 off your first box. And this is a subscription box, so it comes through my letterbox every month. And I just love getting it. It's just a real treat when it comes through. And it always is so beautifully put together. So if you've got somebody who is a stationery nut like myself, then I'm doing a terrible job of this, then it always comes so nicely presented. So let's have a look and see what we've got in here today. You normally get a really nice pen or a pencil. It's a pencil today. And then it comes with, this time we've got a couple of bookmarks. We have got these lovely set of postcards. Now you could actually just put that up, couldn't you, on your mantle like that. I think that's lovely. But they are all detachable postcards. It's so handy and nice to have a little postcard just to send something off to somebody. And then you have got some sticker sheets. So these are all sticker sheets. They're all sort of cut in different ways, circles, stars, strips to write on, all sorts of things. And then the main thing this time was this book, and this is a review book, and so all the pages are set for you to be able to give reviews. So if you do a lot of reading, you're going to see a lot of plays, music, concerts, things like that. It's, I don't know if you're going to see it, it's set out there. So you've got things like review, what you thought about it, where it was, what your rating was, and then pages you can stick in pictures and things like that. So I could start reviewing my retreats. Could. That would be fancy. So whatever you like, but it's a great gift for a book lover or theatre goer, music lover, anything like that. So next week we'll have the results of the giveaway for the Crowsfeet Stitching. I'm hoping to have my 12,000 subscriber giveaway all set up and ready to go. I will be down in the Cotswolds next weekend. We are going back, or I'm going back for spend Mother's Day with Mum. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. It's always nice to go home. And I know we have got a visit to the toy shop because it was Ness's birthday, and she said to Ness, what would she have preferred? Would she prefer a present on her birthday, or would she like to go to the big toy shop in Cheltenham and choose something? And I think she's got her eye on some Harry Potter Lego. So so yeah, I think we're going to go and do that as well. So it's going to be fabulous. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you. I will see you next week. Stay classy, Stitchers.